To start with the cake, we use 4 cups of flour, 4 cups of sugar, a cup and a half of unsweetened cocoa. I use Hershey's because that's my husband's favorite brand. We have 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 3 teaspoons of baking soda, and then 2 teaspoons of salt. And I mix it all together, trying to get kind of to get the lumps from the sugar and the flour, and get the same color all the way around, so you don't have any chunks of cocoa or chunks of flour or chunks of sugar. So when you can run your spoon through without the streaks of white that I'm getting right now, I don't know if you can see that. You see those chunks of white? You want to get those all ironed out. So kind of you have a uniform color throughout the mixture. Okay, so once we're there, we're going to walk over to the mixer. Okay, so we're going to come over here and attach the bowl to the mixer. I use the paddle attachment at this point. There we go. And now we add the majority of our wet ingredients. I save the boiling hot water until the very end. It's the last thing I put in. We're going to start with 2 cups of milk. Pour that right in. I have a cup of vegetable oil. 4 eggs. And 4 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. And then we're going to turn this on and start it at low, just to get the ingredients to mix around a little. And then as the consistency builds, we're going to turn it up. And that's about the consistency that you want it before you add the hot water. I've had water boiling on the stove. I'm going to take 2 cups of it, and only 2 cups. And add it. But I got to do it slowly, otherwise it's gonna pop out the sides of the machine and make a mess everywhere. So I add a little bit, make sure it's in and thoroughly mixed in. And I open it up and add a little bit more, about a half a cup at a time. This is a lot of trial and error. When I first did it, I added all 2 cups and there was an explosion. My husband doesn't like cleaning those up. And then the last little bit, turn the mixer on until everything is incorporated. And once that happens, we're going to turn it just a little bit higher. And you don't want to overmix. You just want to get it just enough that everything is one consistency throughout the bowl. And then I'm going to turn it off. Okay. Now I have to grease the pans. I make my own pan grease because I'm slightly neurotic that way. It's one that I've discovered that works every time. It is a cup of flour, a cup of vegetable oil, and a cup of solid vegetable shortening mixed until you get this consistency. But I keep mine in this container because of course it makes a lot. And eventually it'll separate again. So I have to whisk it back together so that it's one consistency all the way around. Now, if my oldest son was here, he would be very excited because this is his favorite part. He gets to paint the pans. That's what he calls it because it looks like a paintbrush to him. It's really a pastry brush, but to him it's a paintbrush. And so his favorite part of mommy making a cake, besides licking the bowl and eating the cake, is that he gets to paint. And usually, everybody in my family would be very happy because they're getting to eat this cake. Unfortunately, this one is not for them. This one is for my best friend's husband, who he doesn't eat a lot of sweets. He's really into fitness and eating healthy. So he found this is one of the few cakes he really likes. The chocolate is just right, and the caramel gives it a salty kick. And then we take the batter. I always make sure I have a spatula to mix it again, just to make sure that in case the paddle didn't get to the very bottom of the bowl, make sure that you've got everything mixed in. You don't want to have a light and airy cake with a big chunk of not light and airy at the top because you didn't mix everything. And then we just pour into the pan. I like to fill it about halfway, usually just to make sure they're even. Most people, because I use 2-inch pans, would cut these in half. I only fill them about halfway, so they only get to 1.5 inches, and then I don't have to cut them in half. I just fill it that way. Set the oven at 350 degrees. We're going to put our cakes in. They're going to bake for 35 minutes, possibly 40. You have to wait till I use a toothpick stuck in the center, comes out perfectly clean.